Oh, we're live now, are we?
Yeah, let me put up the video. I'm driving down this fucking canal road, dude, and I'm not trying to end up in a ditch.
Their players were cut from a different cloth. Renegades with faces only a mother could love. The Raiders cultivated, then reveled in their ominous image.
The king and his men stole the queen from her bed, bound her in her bones. The seas be ours, and by the powers where we will roam.
Salute, Raider Nation. Appreciate y'all showing up here on a Friday night. Appreciate everybody here in the chat, everybody, the mods, everybody on the panel. Salute to everybody. Appreciate all of you guys, man. If you want to give a shout out real quick, more than welcome.
Yes, salute to
Salute
chat
Raider
there on the
Nation,
panel.
salute everybody up on the panel, salute to everybody else.
Yeah, what's up?
Heck yeah, we got a lot to talk about tonight. I just want to give a shout out to a dude over in Facebook called Beyond the Dark Side, man. He got some good little homemade videos that he makes over there, man, in Facebook. So if anybody's on Facebook wants to watch some Raider content, man, make sure you go give him a follow. I think his name is Strike Baker, if I remember right, on his channel up there. But long story short, either way, give anybody that you guys want to get follow. But like I said, if you guys are over there, just go check him out. Pretty good guy. Appreciate you, Dark, man. Salute to you, bro. Like I said, appreciate everybody here in the chat. We're going to be talking about a bunch of things tonight. Like I said, we've got a pregame on Sunday, too, so we'll be getting into a bunch of things. Outside of that, we'll jump right into it with the GM and the coach. Like I always say, man, you know, when I seen earlier in the year with Jalen Smith on the free agent team, we didn't even pursue him with us. And then the second that they get an injury here, that's the first guy that these guys go after. I've said, like, this guy, man, they want to make moves. They want to get better, so you can already see that.
I believe we're going to see another fullback, too, activated. I think we may have a fullback on the practice squad. Because
I just think, like I said, that they're willing to make the moves. I think that it's going to take to get better. You can tell that the minute that they ask them about Aiden, the minute that they ask about Jimmy, they don't beat around the bush. They tell you straight to your face basically what it is. So I think those are pretty good qualities that match up with that right away with them versus what we've seen in the past. Like I said, I think I've always said, I think everybody deserves a chance until proven otherwise. And, you know, like, I don't want to get too much off topic because it is one of our topics here in a little bit. But I've always said, man, I'm all about the shield before I'm about individual people, period. So I'm going to support people while they're here. I'm going to support them at the position that they are, regardless of who they are. And I'm going to judge them the same way, regardless of what their name is. Outside of that, like I said, you got to give the guy a good, fair chance. I think going into the Giants game, like, he should be able to go in here and be able to beat this team. I just think there's a lot of tangibles that are going to be, put together just because they make moves already that they are trying to get better. I get that part, but it's just like I said, these guys have been here the whole entire time. It isn't something that they just popped up out of nowhere and they're bringing their people. They are Josh's people. So I just think like you can tell the demeanor about him. He obviously brings an attitude that I've said it is Raider attitude. There's no doubt about it. And I've always said like the hardest thing about Josh is like he's more like a private school attitude where they want people to be correct, do things certain ways, where you have Antonio, which is kind of like how I've said is like in the locker room, that's the players' room. So I don't understand why there was such a deal there if there was a deal to begin with. But just to see like if that is an issue and how he feels, because I've said like in there is them. Whenever you show up to the classroom, that's us. Like that's the Raiders, that's the coaches. The field is the coaches, things of those factors. So, long story short, like I said, I think in the first, day or two of them being able to run the team, I think getting Jalen and them just shows that they are looking to spend money or upgrade the team. I would have loved to see them at the trade deadline and see who they really would have went after. But long story short, like I say, got a lot to talk about. So if any of you guys got something you want to add to it, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, like you were saying, man, I feel like as much as I supported Josh, Josh McDaniels, while he was here, like we always say, man, we're never about the player or the coach. At the end of the day, we're going to support whoever the next coach is, which is Pierce. And I do agree that he does bring that old school Raider mentality with him, because he's from Compton, he grew up a Raiders fan, he's from the area, and he brings a different mentality, like you said, to the team. And maybe that's kind of what this team needs. Maybe it needs that, because maybe especially with like young players nowadays, they're kind of different to players back in the day. Like they need someone that's gonna like get in their ass, so to speak, when they fuck up, but a coach that's also gonna be able to like motivate them and push them. I mean, me personally, I don't see why a grown man earning millions of dollars needs to be motivated, but with things nowadays, like the way the world is nowadays, things is different, especially with kids coming out of college, like the younger players on the team and stuff. Like they might need that extra push or that extra support from the coach. That probably with a guy like Josh McDaniels, he's more like Belichick, where he's like he wants things done his way, rather than kind of like adjusting to the players, if that makes sense. So maybe a guy like Pierce, who's been a player, is more willing to do that. Maybe that's what it takes to get this team over the hill. But whatever works, man. Like at the end of the day, whatever makes the team better.
Hey, one more thing that I want to add.
Yeah, I think the thing was here's go.
I don't know if you guys seen the Justin Tuck with one of the people. I think the one that does the Behind the Shield. But he brought up when he first came into the league with Antonio Pierce, they did a tackle or something. Antonio Pierce was like, "No, that's still my team over there. Don't disrespect them like that." He told Justin Tuck
that was David Carr. That was David Carr.
Was it
David
David Carr?
The video. That's the
video
I have on my
bad.
page.
Yeah.
The video I put up, I found it online, and then had Eric edit the video, and then I put it on my.
My bad. I thought it was Justin Tuck. My bad.
No, it's David Carr. Basically, what happened is the year after the Super Bowl. They were playing the Oakland Raiders, man, and they were winning, beating the Raiders pretty good, and they ended up putting David Carr in later on in the third quarter. And David Carr, I guess, at some point ended up spiking the ball on the ground, and that's when Antonio Pierce walked up to him and told him, "Don't disrespect the Raiders. That's my team." And then that's when I put that video down. David Carr told him after he told him "Hey, don't disrespect the Raiders. That's my team." He said, "Hey, man, you're over here winning Super Bowls with the Giants, and you're over there fucking defending the Raiders, But like I said, you can't take away people's actual team or how they feel about it. And I just say some things are destiny. I think some things are destiny at some points, because when you have people like him that come from that area that have that attitude, just like you said, NWO, this, that, You know, it's
Hey,
just
one
certain
thing.
vibes. Like,
Hey, Dustin. One thing I want to show you guys something that really appreciates me. That's his autograph right there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but his autograph is right there.
nice.
Yeah, when I went to the game, and the crazy thing is, and I got Dave Ziegler that says "Go Raiders" on the other side.
Hell yeah.
I will say for Pierce, one thing I do really like one thing that I will say, like, not a nab at McDaniels, is kind of like what you said, Dustin, like private school personality. When you're trying to take that with a franchise, like a fan base, a team where we're used to, like, like gangster personality, like Gruden, like how Pierce is, like, old school type of personality. I think it's kind of how with Pierce, like, everyone is just like really cool with him immediately like that, because that's the personality that we're used to, kind of like with Gruden, like early 2000s, or even like when we had Gruden before he got canned by the NFL. Like, it's kind of how it went. Especially, I kind of like it when they asked him about Jalen Smith, and I kind of like it how he described like Jalen Smith, like just straight up said, like, the moment Smith came in, like, he already had a notebook writing down all of the teammates' names, writing down the plays, like, just saying, like, Jalen Smith is literally, like he said, word for word, he's the pro's pro. Like, he said Jalen Smith is basically a standard that you want to be, which is crazy to say, but I mean, like, Pierce has a high standard for linebackers. I mean, he's a linebacker coach, but yeah, it's kind of like how you said with like Destiny too. Like, he has never left the Bay Area. Like, he's always been in college. When he was a college player, he played for university. When he was a coach, I mean, he literally coached for one of the best schools in the nation, Polytech, which is in Long Beach. He also in college, Arizona State, and then for the NFL, he just immediately went to the Raiders when he got the opportunity. So you can tell that it was his like intention and plan. Like, hey, I want to stay in the West Coast. If I ever get an opportunity, like, I can coach for my home team. Like, and it's going to be a topic later time, like my topic. Like, I do personally think, like, since Pierce has like a once in a lifetime opportunity, he's going to want to do everything he can to either secure the job, like the head coaching job, or just secure his job as a coach for the Raiders.
Yeah, because it's going to be hard. That part's going to be very, very hard, because I keep saying this, and I'm going to keep saying this. When Mark Davis, like when we talked the other night, see, I thought Mark was still strapped for cash. Like, I really thought Mark was still strapped for cash. So the fact that I go look up and he really does have $2.5 billion his net, I mean, there's a reason that he could afford to cut Josh and them and still owe them $90 million and Gruden and go after a coach. He didn't cut Josh and them to put Pierce as the head coach. I'm just going to say that right now. He didn't go invest $100 million to say, okay, Pierce, you can have the team come for the future, and you never even ran a team, period, ever in the NFL. There's going to be a lot of deals that are going to go along with that. So, like I've said, if you look at the way Rich Bisaccia last year, even with the well-oiled engine, well-oiled team, they still, what did they win, 5 out of 6 games? He still didn't even get the job. So in order for Pierce to get the job, I feel like he's going to have to be able to go out there. He's going to have to win the playoff game, dude. He's going to have to get into the playoffs and win, because this is how I keep trying to say it over and over. Like, at the end of the day, when it comes down to next year, and let's just say I have a strong feeling Harbaugh is going to be the number 1 target.
I mean, that's
look.
Like everyone's feeling at the same time too. Because if Michigan doesn't work out for Harbaugh, considering what's going on, then his most likely option is to come here.
And listen, Mark ain't gonna fuck up the
some shit on Harbaugh too that you.
It doesn't matter. College has nothing to do with NFL, so it doesn't matter what
it's not
his
about
deals
that. Players their self from him how he is.
It won't matter. He will dump all these guys and do his own shit. He don't give a fucking how players feel. The thing is He went to the Niners. He fucking did that shit over there. He took
Some Niners
Singletary's team.
executives do not like him.
I can care less how they feel about him. Like
wherever he goes, literally.
The problem is
every single place he's been in, college, NFL, high school, he's won every single time.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter about how an individual feels about how he does. It matters, does he win? Does he get the results out of it? Motherfucker don't like him, they can fucking leave. I've said this, dude. You have people like John Gruden, Harbaugh. These dudes are dudes that have done this job. They've taken, took your souls. They've taken and rebuilt teams. They've done what people are going to ask what they want done here. The problem that a lot of people ain't understanding is that you have Jim Harbaugh and John Gruden are two people that Mark motherfucking likes. And I keep saying this, like, John Gruden's just a far, like, I can't see it happening with John. The thing with Harbaugh is you pass one time for you already passed once for Josh McDaniels, man. You thought that was going to work. You thought that was going to be the thing. I can't see them doing it again twice, man. I can't.
The NFL could block us from getting them because the coach wanted a college coach and he did some scandal and they cock blocked him.
The sign deal, he's not even, they can't do shit with him, so it doesn't matter. That's a bullshit narrative to begin with. The only thing that Jim has on him is the deal before, and even in that deal, it does not restrict him from coming to the NFL. He can leave there, take punishment from there, still be an NFL coach. So I don't know where you guys hear that stuff or not, but there's no way.
To a beat writer that knows highly a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's no deal in the sign deal that's going on right now that can tie Jim to it, period. It's a whole different dude. That guy comes up with this shit. Like he can't be tied to that deal.
NCAA and NFL aren't related.
Yeah, so I just don't see, and just like they've even talked about it, even with the salute strike. This is the guy I was talking about. Like I said earlier, go check out his YouTube page. Man, got a good YouTube page out there. He's got good info, good stuff out there. Like I said, it's Beyond the Dark Side. Pretty good guy. So, like I say, go check him out. But yeah, like I said, it's two different deals, and even now they have two different type of commissioners within the college. So it can most definitely, they're not even trying to pursue them regardless. Like I said, if anybody checks into it, it's most stock deal right now. So long story short is if AP and Kelly, I mean, they're gonna have to go out and win a bunch of games. They're gonna have to go out and they're gonna have to turn this whole thing around with the team they have, in order to probably be solidified to be able to go forward. And I feel like, just like he did right away, dumped Jimmy, went with Aiden because he feels like, he may have a few struggling games, but he's going to probably give us the most chance to win games. And then, like I said, at the end of this year, I keep saying this, the most thing, man, like when you're looking at, like I said, that they could have had Harbaugh before they got Josh, and Harbaugh said it publicly that if the Raiders were to offer him the job, he would take it right now. So the things, when you look at those type of things, is one, if he's having issues there, Mark knows already. I keep saying it, he didn't eat $100 million again to put AP there. He's gonna have to go win playoffs. He's gonna have to do a lot here, man. Like I said it when they got Ziegler. They already had Chip in place. They already had him in place. It was already a fall. You don't usually go pick up a GM and the head coach and then have another GM right behind them. You know what I mean? So it just tells you at some point along the journey, they were prepared to either cut ties with both of them and have that in place. But it's just like I spoke about on the last show, the guy that should have had that job, and regardless of how I feel about him or not, because I'm not a Patrick Graham fan in any means whatsoever, he's the only guy that's had a head coaching job interview. He's the only guy that's been talked about even being a head coach in the NFL. He was most definitely looked after numerous teams before we even got him to come over here. There's even a tender on him right now that if he was to leave or go somewhere else, that we would get draft pick compensation for him. So, like I said, the way they jumped him and went straight to Pierce, and everything. It's like I love Pierce. I love his attitude. I love what he brings. But I think at the end of the day, man, when you're looking at the end of the season, unless you're winning playoff games, unless this team just turns around massively, you have to look at two scales. One scale is going to have Chip Kelly, AP, and fucking Patrick Graham there. And then that's what you're building off. And then what this offensive coordinator, like you're asking guys that's never done shit to become just next level players or coaches instantly. And on the other side of the ball, you would bring in dudes like Vic Fangio, Dobbs or Dorsey, and then Jim Harbaugh. I mean, you're talking about whole proven group of actual people in your franchise that have tore down and rebuilt, and not only that, have drafted successfully and had a lot of fucking success out of it. Like when you're having that type of like view out of it, and you're trying to get the Raiders, back where they need to be. I've said, like, I personally think tearing down the team, rebuilding it from scratch, man, is probably the way they should go. You get different, you're going to have a whole different type of player mentality. The problem I felt with this team for the longest time is too many people carry on to individual person. And I've said it, I don't give a fuck about the individual person. I think it needs to have a coach in here that thinks the same way, that knows like, hey, I've won with this and I'm a proven coach, so I'm going to do this. Like, that's the way I look at things. Now, I like I've said, I'm a support AP the whole entire time that he's here. But unless something just drastically happens here, team-wise, player-wise, everything you can't go out here and say like, okay, we got rid of Josh and we're going to go with these dudes, but we go out and play the Giants and it's a 17-19 game. Like, you can't do that, man. Like, and they're getting back a bunch of their players. They're going to get back a bunch of deals. Like, if our team's as good as people are claiming and we were just short on, play calling and so on. And listen, I think Aiden's just going to score more points anyway. Everybody knows I've said Aiden should have been starting quarterback from when we drafted him. So I've said it the whole entire time. I was never for Jimmy. I was always for Aiden, 100%. So long story short is like, I know he's going to score more points than Jimmy, period. I've known that from the day we got him. The problem is again, like I keep saying is like, these guys are going to be asked to do a lot of stuff. I just would say, like, to be more realistic, be behind the guys as much as possible, because I've always said I support every dude that every position, regardless of who it is. I would just be prepared for at the end of the year. Mark didn't need that $100 million to give it to this guy. I'll just be honest.
That's something that I feel like I agree with you a lot, Dustin. I feel like that's because a lot of Raider fans, they also want to see Harbaugh. But the one thing I keep saying is, but if we get Harbaugh, you're gonna have to be prepared. Like, he's gonna tear down the team. Like he's done it before. He's gonna do what Gruden did. He's not gonna wait a year. He's gonna do it immediately. And
I agree.
And he also will do staff. That's why, like, me and Dustin, like, we're really worried about Antonio Pierce. But I'm not gonna question Harbaugh that much. Only a little bit compared to like other coaches, just because if anyone like could research Harbaugh's resume, not just wins, not just players, but you look at the staff members that he's brought in. These staff members, not just Vic Fangio, but like coaches that like have also won Super Bowls, or coaches that have assisted winning Super Bowls. That's defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators, positional coaches at a high level. Not only does Harbaugh know how to develop players, but he can also develop coaches really well, to where, say, like, if we do have Harbaugh, like, hey, we have the head of a coaching tree who's learned literally from the very best, and people can be like, hey, we want to try to get his assistant coaches. Like, not us trying to nitpick on coaches like, dang, I want the Bill Belichick tree, or the, like, I forget what tree Shanahan's from, or the John Gruden tree, like, or the Sean Payton tree, like, it's kind of how you have to look at it.
He comes from the John Gruden, which is the fucking West Coast, from Holmgren and all of them, fucking Reed, fucking Holmgren, all those dudes, Walsh, all that's where they come from.
And then when it comes to that, like, and I'll repeat it again, like, if it happens, like, and Mark just finally pulls the trigger and finally brings Harbaugh here, the first year Harbaugh's most likely going to do it. Like, he's going to tear the whole thing down, and hopefully our bipolar fan base just doesn't act shocked when it happens.
I think what the Mark's doing right now is going to give Antonio and them a chance to just culture change the whole team and, you know, put it into that deal and see if it works. And if it does, you know, they'll talk about it at the end of the year. I think, like I've said, you couldn't ask for a better scale right now, literally to test the theory, how somebody like Josh's system that's strict, fucking where people, you know, weren't for it, versus somebody like, Pierce, where he's going to liven up in certain aspects of the building, but still hold people responsible elsewhere. So I think like that type of study, I don't think you can even plan that. So I think the data that you can get out of this is going to be very crucial. And like in that deal, this is the thing I keep iterating the whole entire time. Harbaugh comes here, it doesn't matter if he gets a dude like Vic Fangio or not, because his brother's still here in Baltimore, dude. They are very fucking, his family is very into football, offense, defensively, and so on. And Harbaugh's going to end up with a good coordinator and staff, regardless of if he gets Vic or not. The things that you got to think about, and I've thought about this a lot over the last week when we're changing, and again, this is just theory talk if AP don't work, because I'm going to stand behind AP. I'm not jumping the gun. I'm just saying be prepared for it, because I think that's where the bigger picture is, because of the fact that, like I've said, if you look at the way John Gruden came in here, great mastermind, man, did a great job the first time in '98, building the team, everything. He's great. He's great at what he does. Showed up here a second time, did it again, man. But the problem that he did is, like I said, Gruden, great play caller, great mind. Fucking Paul Guenther, straight fucking trash defensive mind. Then you got fucking Mike Mayock, took him out of a fucking NFL fucking network fucking booth, dude. So you're just hoping on what it is. And don't get me wrong, he's made good deals and he's done okay, just like Ziegler's done, all right? But look, this is the same thing. Here comes Josh. Josh got great play calling, great mastermind type deal, but he fucking gets fucking Patrick Graham, dude. I don't care what anybody says. This guy is not a good coordinator, man. If he eventually turns around and does all, like I've said, I'll eat crow. I'm a straight man. I'll fucking do that. But at the same time, they got Ziegler over here. These are all guys that have not done nothing, dude. And this is from Gruden, and this is from Josh, man. The difference with Harbaugh is he's not going to do mistakes like that. He's not going to go get Paul Guenther to fucking run his defense, dude. Like, if he can't get Vic, and Vic is probably going to up and leave. Vic will probably most definitely up and leave Miami for fucking Harbaugh. Like, these guys are great friends. I mean, he most definitely will probably up and leave. The question would be is are you getting Dorsey or Dobbs as your fucking GM? Like, that would probably be the biggest fucking, deal. But regardless of who's there or not, they're all proven people that have done something and done it at a very high level in the NFL, So, like I said, man, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I wish this guy the best. I hope that he can. You're asking him to define, history right here, to be honest. And I mean, all I'm gonna keep saying over and over is just go look at what Rich Bisaccia did, and he did not get the job, dude. I mean, I've said when people put in, when Gruden left and Bisaccia got put in there, he won. He went out and did what it was going to take. He got him to the playoffs. Like, the thing is that regardless of what he did that year, how he got through adversity, how anything went down, Mark Davis already had a bigger plan that he was going to hire somebody like fucking Josh McDaniels or Harbaugh or things like that. And I think it's a great thing that he's going to give Pierce a shot, because maybe him giving him this shot, like, two things can happen is maybe if Harbaugh comes in or somebody else, he can, like, Mark can say, like, hey, I want this dude to be the intern head, or like not intern, but the
assistant head coach,
fucking, and I want him to be on that staff, and I want him to be there. He's going to be a part of this deal. Like, That's something Mark can do. That's an aisle move, but I don't know if Mark's got the balls to do that. But he can most definitely do that. The odds are like this is like you can look it up. I mean, if I'm betting 10,000 right now, I mean, I'm gonna bet my 10 grand on this scenario that he's gonna get every chance he can to prove himself somewhere else. Like that's what that's what I'm gonna say, because I think what Mark is gonna do is like he probably sees where the stat. There's no way that they can sit here and say like this is the idea that they go with Bo, Bo Hardigree like that, and dude's never done nothing in your life. You got a guy like Jim Harbaugh that's taken teams to Super Bowls and fucking NFC championships with nobodies, dude. Like literally took Kaepernick that wasn't doing shit, dude, and then even still with Blaine Gabbert, dude. Like I've said, like Harbaugh defensively, offensively, he knows the game here very well.
I mean, that's kind of like I said with Harbaugh. Wherever he's gone, he's developed not just players but staff members and coaches. Like, it's basically where like if say like you can't get a Vic Fangio if he was the head coach right now, whatever DC he has, like there would be like I won't say a guarantee, but like a good chance of us just trusting who he would pick to be the DC, because 9 times out of 10 he's probably going to get it right, because I mean historically when you look at it, 9 times out of 10, it's just been the right guy.
Yeah, and this is the other thing you got to think be like the most crucial point about being a head coach in the NFL, right? Like this is the most crucial thing. If AP gets the head coaching job, right, and Hargrave struggles out, which is most likely going to happen because he's never been an offensive coordinator. So, like he said, the only time he's ever called plays was in preseason game once, but that was it. But outside of it, is if he doesn't work out, who does AP know that's a great OC that he can reach out and get a hold of to bring here? And then, hell, let's even ask the bigger question. Let's take a step even farther. Say that that you got fucking Graham and him struggling. Who is AP reaching out and getting dudes to lead their teams to come here? If you get a dude like fucking Harbaugh here, I mean, fuck, his shit's gonna go deep. He can go anywhere he wants or anybody wants. Even if you don't get his first, his second, third, or fourth, it's still gonna be pretty good, So those are the only things that I'm trying to say when you're looking at the long, like the long run of our team and what we're gonna be looking at is stuff like that. So. Like I've said, I wish AP the best. I'm going to stand behind him the whole entire time. I mean, I hope that, somebody said something a while back about that they think Josh was holding back Graham's defense. Like, if that's the case, I mean, let's see, like hopefully like Pierce said, he's going to let him run it however he wants. But even like Graham says, when people use words like that, it's not like you're just going to go out there and fucking blitz every down either. So, like I said, I think people are using words that are going to get people excited, but Graham's probably like the way Graham looked about it or spoke about it still makes you feel like he's like, hey, we're already trying that. You know what I mean? Like we're already trying that. It's not really working. So we're going to have to see. But like I said, I hope the best for him. I think, like I said earlier this year, I mean, if Aiden was in there, I mean, I bet 1,000 that Aiden was going to win 10-6, 10 games, not Jimmy. And I even said it the whole time that Aiden's going to be a big point player because he's done it in Purdue in college. So, like I've said, Aiden gives you the best chance regardless of any scenario here. It's just, what can we do? Like that's the reality of it.
Yeah, facts. And that's the thing, though. All I said is just give the Pierce a fair chance. I mean, because I'm just tired of the instability, and I think that's something that people got to realize, that a lot of the Josh McDaniels firing, he's gone now. It is what it is, but a lot of that probably had to do with quarterback play and other certain things like not panning out. Like I think if you go back and you say they did get Tom Brady or something as a 1-year rental, things would have played out differently. But it is what it is. And like you said, like the only head coaching experience that Pierce has at this point is like college and high school. But then again, on the other hand, a guy's got to get his shot at some point. So hopefully they give him that shot, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and usually when a guy gets the opportunity at that point, like, you know, probably like 99% of them have fucking play calling at the offense or defensive side of the ball. I mean, like I've said, there's very few people, and I mean, you can even go back to, like I said, with Joe Judge, that come from Bill and them, went to the Giants. He's special teams. He don't bring it on either side, and he ends up right away too. Like I said, most successful people probably ever.
I agree, but I'm saying with Pierce, what I'm saying with Pierce is the only experience he has at calling plays is like high school and college.
Yeah, that's facts. But my point to the conversation was just jumping from not being a play caller to the head coach is a massive. I mean, he don't even have it. How does he even know how to run the organization or any day-to-day deals? How does he know any of that? He's never done it. You can be a player, man. I keep trying to tell people this. There's reasons that there's dudes playing and guys that are running them. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how it is, dude. And you have to have the experience. And I'm not going to say that it can't be done or hasn't been done. It's just not every single person that does it is cut out for it. Salute the menace.
Yeah, that's facts. And that's why I'm just hoping that we'll see what Pierce does over the next, 9 weeks or whatever that's left. 8 weeks.
Yeah, I will say when it comes to... I just hope that
if he does well, give him a shot for at least one season and see what happens.
I will say when it comes to long-term, this will probably be like the scariest turn of events because hopefully the higher-ups in this franchise, including Mark, do make the right decision because especially the biggest thing we need now, like obviously besides a coach and a GM, is someone to lead the face of the franchise at the quarterback position. And whether it could be Aiden O'Connell or whether it could be someone from this draft class, and we're not going to see a draft class like this for a while, this is where, like, hey, like, whoever you bring in, you better hope it's the right guy that can bring in the right guy.
And that's my point. You guys have all talked about,
I think
like,
Cam Kelly's the one for that.
You guys have said, like, go get Johnson from the Lions, get Dorsey from the Bills, things like that.
I don't want
if you're indicating, let's just say that you're indicating any one of those guys, you're still gonna have to get rid of Antonio Pierce. And the only thing when you're looking at Pierce is that the odds are Bo Hardegree is not. He's not listen, giving guys options or giving dude like that. I can see this being a fucking Todd Downey shit all over again right here. Now, I hope this guy don't end up being Todd Downey. I like 5 Mile. I really hope that doesn't happen.
Just run the ball and throw it to Devontae every.
Boy, it can most definitely be. But what my point is that you have guys out here that are really good offensive coordinators and really good, pretty good mastermind people. And if they had the options of Devontae and ran that offense in an aggressive, young player mind, they're going to do way more than Pierce, and look, dude, I like Pierce. I've said it. I didn't want him in this job because I wanted to retain him. And I've thought about it. Like, it doesn't matter if he didn't get this job or not. If their intention is to hire another coach, regardless of the outcome of this season, he's going to be gone anyway. So I feel like, hey, give him the shot. Let him go out there, play his hardest. Let him get a chance to either stay or get a job. All I'm trying to say is that when you're looking at the overall picture and not, again, I've always said, I'm not biased. I'm not looking to a deal. Mark literally just showed you 2 years ago. He showed you fucking 4 years before that. Mark's intention is to put a high person's name in this organization, let them run this motherfucker and try to win. That's what he's trying to do. I get the hype of Pierce. I've said it. Pierce is going to have to go out there and win every game and probably fucking win playoff games to even be a candidate, because at the end of the day, it's not just fucking Mark that owns and runs the team, dude. There are a lot of other people here saying like, hey man, you got a guy like Harbaugh, or even listen, I'm just using Harbaugh because he's a very big name and he's gonna be linked to this team 100%. I don't care
I
how
mean, he
anybody's
always
feelings
is
are.
every year.
Exactly. And this year is more real than anything because Michigan just pulled the contract back because of a lot of things that are going on, which is going to leave the door wide open for Mark to step in and say, hey, we'll give you that fucking month, $15 million a year.
If you really want Harbaugh, now is probably like the closest opportunity you're ever going to get.
It's probably going to be your last chance, too. And I don't think Mark wants to fuck that up again.
Because
And,
if you don't
listen,
hire him this year, he's never going to be a Raider at all. The chances.
I don't think he'll get a chance. Somebody will lock him up finally for the end of that, and then, like I've said, by the time you do that, he'll be too old and too late. And it's just like somebody was talking about the Redskins wanting fucking Belichick, and I'm like, fuck, dude, hopefully like a general manager, not to run the fucking team, you know, like. There's certain things where you just got to get to a point where it's like, all right, that's going to hinder us way down the long run. And again, look, if Pierce comes out, dude, and they fucking go dominate on this deal, I'm not trying to be the downside to the conversation ever. I'm just saying, man, when business people sit at a table and they're saying, okay, who's going to be the offense, they're still in shambles right now with the people that they have. I don't give a fuck how people want to dress it up or anything. Like they're asking for like a miracle for all the people that just got promoted and put in different spots to just become masterminds overnight. I'm not going to discredit them. I'm just going to say the odds are very, very against them, like massively against them. So if you're just being real, insane when you look at the end of the day where this guy's coaching staff and people versus people like Harbaugh got a mile advantage. So again, like I said, you got to go into the Giants team.
So where I don't disagree with like what you're saying with Harbaugh having more experience in that, definitely, because he's done it with the 49ers and whatnot. The only thing that
he's done it everywhere. He's done it everywhere.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that. But the only issue I have is, like we were saying earlier, is that if you bring a guy like that in, he's going to blow shit up like in 2018, like Gruden did.
And he will, and I've said it. I don't think he's going to care either. I don't. And again, like when he sits down at the table with Mark, and if Gruden sits there, like Gruden's going to say, like, yeah, he can win with Devontae, and Harbaugh will probably say the same thing. So it's not like Harbaugh is going to sit here and say like, hey, everybody's got to go. But there are going to be conversations about him saying like, hey,
I think Devontae doesn't say unless he restructures in that situation, because
that's what I say.
Like, when you're trying to rebuild a team, it's too much money on one player, man. Like you cannot give a wide receiver quarterback money and rebuild a team at the same time.
That's facts. And
I mean, it's
don't
also
get me
going
wrong.
to be like who's more valuable, like to keep long-term wise.
And you got to keep in mind, as much as I love Devontae, like he's the best wide receiver in the league to me. At the end of the day, if anything, this Josh McDaniels experience has showed us he was the best wide receiver in touchdowns, and we still had a 6-11 record. So, like, you can have one of the best players, but if you don't have the whole team, it doesn't really matter.
I mean, if Gruden was here, he would have slayed out with fucking.
Slayed
out with them. That's I just think if Harbaugh comes, he's not going to just get rid of Devontae. I mean, there'll be conversation. Devontae wants to be here. He's already spoke about he wants to be here. So I think, like they said, they'll just probably tell him straight up, like, hey, we're rebuilding and you're going to have to take a contract.
I mean, like Devontae did say it out of his own mouth. He's going in for the rebuild.
Yeah, if he's going in for the rebuild, then he's probably going to be willing to take a restructure. Then he's still going to get his money, but it's going to have to be restructured where some of that money is going to be kicked down the road.
And the odds are it's going to be a rookie quarterback that's going to be at the helm.
You have to, because that's the only way you can do it. If you're going to keep guys like Devontae, the only way it's the same with like other teams that have done it. When you keep guys like that, you have to bring in a rookie quarterback on a cheap deal. That's the only way you can afford to have those kind of superstars, and then you build around that young rookie quarterback.
And then after that, you only got 4 to 5 years to show what you can do with that. That's usually how
Yep,
that's like in modern NFL now. That's how it goes now. Like
that's
we
how it
can't
goes,
wait.
right? Yeah,
We can't
exactly.
wait longer than that. And that's kind of similar with John. Like, granted, John didn't really draft anyone; he just kept Carr. But the 4th year, it was kicking. Like the 4th year, we were going, and then the NFL screwed us over. So that's
Facts.
why it's like it's a four thing. Like, you're gonna have to expect. Like, I don't know if Harbaugh can do it quicker. I'm not gonna. He probably could. He probably would just need 4
I
years.
think we
Like, I don't know.
can because what we have now is better than when John Gruden came in.
I
Um,
just
Like
think
I'm talking
what
about the
it'll
roster.
take him, I think like he'll get his 4 years if that's what it takes. You know what I mean? Like that's what I would say. But I don't think it's going to take him 4 years because any good coach or any good person is going to be able to see where things
Rotate
are
those
at,
two.
identify, and just like I said, if you got a guy like these dudes that know how to, like, look, man, Devontae made a key point in his presser, and I said this, I don't think he meant to knock the coach, like I don't think he meant it as a knock, but it is a knock against him. Devontae said straight out, it ain't like Pierce is just gonna come over here and fucking tell me how to run this play because he don't even know how the offense is ran. That's his exact words. So when you say stuff like that, man, when you have a player like him and that's your head coach, and then you're looking at a dude like fucking um, hard agree. I don't care how anybody is in their feelings or how they feel or anything of those factors. When you have a guy like John Gruden, you have a guy like fucking Harbaugh, any guy that's a great offensive mastermind, even like I said, if you got Johnson or any of those dudes, offensively, they make Devontae a better player on the team. So, like I've said, there's going to come down to a lot of questions at the end of the day. I think you're going to have to hope that Hardegree pans out with Aiden and that this team does go forward with Devontae and everybody works in a perfect world. And if it's not, you're already halfway there to the rebuild anyways. Your main coaches are already gone and GM. And I mean, like I said, you've literally elevated quarterback coaches and people that have never even been in those positions a day in their life. So I've always said I'm done settling for half-ass people because people talk about where they come from or how they are. I agree giving the dudes their chances. I'm all about it. Then we got 9 games. What is it? 9 more games to do it. So if he does it in there, then do it, man. Like I'm not against it. I'm just saying like you can't just keep doing that every single time a guy gets fired or somebody else and be like, oh, this or that. There are guys that are qualified to be in those positions regardless of how people feel name wise or not. And that's where I think we need to get to is putting guys in the spots that are fucking like I said, fucking qualified to be there. Gruden did it when he got here. He did it with 2 dudes. He did it with Mayock and he did it with Paul Gunther. Paul Gunther was just a Zimmerman prodigy. That's all he was. But he didn't do shit. And that shit didn't show up over here. And what did they say? What did Mark say? Mark said, I didn't want to put a guy at the head coaching or in the head coaching position that called plays. I wanted to put a guy there that can hype up players. Well, fuck, if you need a cheerleader, just go put some motherfuckers over there. Like, and again, I get that Devontae and them will say, well, we'll run through a wall for him. Like, what, you guys didn't have that theory with fucking Josh or anybody else? Like, again, I hope the best for them, man, but I keep iterating this the whole time. These players were already on the team, or the coaches were already on the team for the last year and a half. So I hope that Josh was suffocating them that bad. Like I said, Aiden's going to be the main factor, so I don't care if it was with Josh or with fucking this guy. I mean, Aiden is, I've said the whole time, will be the key factor to it. And just like they said straight up, it's not like you can go like what did Pedigree say? The offense is already in place. Not like I can go and swap up shit right now. It's already in motion. We can change a few plays, around, go deeper, this or that. But like he said, the offense is pretty much in play for the rest of the year. So
Yeah, that's the other thing I was going to bring up as a topic is the thing that people need to consider about here is what playbook are they going to run? Is it going to be Josh McDaniels' playbook, or is it going to be John Gruden's playbook, or is it going to be like a mixture of the two? Like,
Yeah, and then that's the point to where, like when they asked Hard Degree like how he plans for the Giants, and like here, let me pull it up for word, and he said like he just wants the player. He's basically saying like the players are gonna like run it, like as if it's like he's just gonna let them do their own thing. So, I mean, that lets me know like sure he might play call a few of them, but it's mostly just going to be similar to how in like 2021, Greg Olson just let the players do their own thing. And it was just Carr most likely calling the plays. Like, I'm not saying Aiden is going to call every play. I mean, he's a rookie, but I mean, with Adams' experience, Adams is probably going to be half the time calling plays with Hard Degree.
Yeah, but that's where my point. See, this is where my whole point is. When you have player ran teams, there's never players that call the offense. Like, even as good as Peyton is or not, Peyton can suggest like, hey, he feels the way that the defense is going this way. So in a possession, in a quarter, he might be able to go over there and say like, okay, hey, I think we should do this because they're leaning in on us or they're doing this, so let's try to run this. He can suggest and audible out, but there's still the play caller that calls the fucking play. So Adams is not the offensive play caller of that team. So to even suggest something like that, you're just suggesting a fucking nightmare there.
Well, I wasn't suggesting that.
No, I know that. I know that. But what all I'm trying to say is like coaches still have to coach and players still have to play. Now, if they're trying to say that players are, need to finish through, they should have did that with Josh. And this is where I keep having these same debacles is that all they're doing is talking about shit that they should have been doing with Josh. And if they don't do it with Josh, the odds are they're probably not going to do it right here in the middle of the season. And if they do, then that's just a personal issue. And I hate when shit's like that because we're supposed to be trying to win every time we step out on the field, regardless of how you feel about an individual or not. So that shit would kind of just piss me off in the fact that I spent all that money to not go watch a guy because of the fact that people or players are determining the outcome of that shit. I'm just not for that. So then it's going to be twisted in it. Again, like I said, there will be a lot of shit that'll go down over this year over shit like that. But like I said, man, I mean, it is what it is. I think he said, oh, Josh looks like he's running like he was the rushing leader of the deal. Why hasn't he been doing that the whole time? These are all questions when you hear these things. Like, I get it that you got rid of Josh, and I get it people are trying to hype up, oh, it's a new deal, but you guys should have been doing this shit the whole time, man. Like I've said, you got to also remember, Pierce wasn't the only one running the linebackers. Rob Ryan's running the linebackers with them, too. So, like I said, man, we got to just pay attention where people are at, how this year is going to go out. I've even said, like, last year, look at it like this. Put it in context however you want. When Gruden got fired, Gus Bradley should have been the head coach that year, too. He was the Jacksonville Jaguars head coach. He had the fucking pedigree to 100% be the head coach over motherfucking Rich Bisaccia by a mile. And Rich Bisaccia jumped in for the same fucking reason. So I'm just saying, man, just pay attention. Don't be surprised what happens at the end of the year. But all I can say is like going forward, pay attention. Like in this game, there's going to be a lot of change. So to sit here and just act like we're going to go win this game, I don't know, man. I think that might be against us in this one because there's just too many moving parts here in too short of a time. Regardless of how people were here on the team or not, they were not the coach. They weren't calling those plays and things like that. So I think like Hardegree is going to take time to get used to calling plays, get used to that type of stuff. So for me, like, man, I hope we can win this game. But I keep saying, like, if we go into this game and it's a fucking 17-19, and the next game, I mean, we didn't upgrade or nothing. We're just the same outcome, just different dude up there. So, and at that point, at the end of the year, I've said it, I would just I would just take a grenade, throw it in this motherfucker and blow it up, dude, and call it what it is at that point, because I've said this the whole time. You're just doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result, and that's the definition of insanity, man. Like, you can't do that shit. It doesn't work, and it hasn't worked. The only time people have had the success is literally breaking it down. I've said even Del Rio time when he came, it was fucking McKenzie, dude. He would literally rebuild up that whole line, everything over there, dude. He was all over that shit. So, and that wasn't on Rio, that was on McKenzie. So, again, like I said, let's just hope for the best. I'm not being negative on the guy because I like the guy. I hope the best for this dude. I really do, man. I'm just saying, like, the thing about me in football is I just look at too many similarities, too many things that happen to fuck damn near right around the time. I mean, there's just too many things that happen. I've literally
it's too identical to the whole Gruden situation.
Yeah, I've said if your intention was to give Pierce and them a fair shot, why didn't you fire Ziegler and Josh last week and then let these guys go get people in the trade deadline?
I mean,
and Mark said the whole time, we're buyers, and he never even chose anybody. He's the fucking owner of the team. He can make damn sure that they look for somebody. Sweat fucking goes to the Bears, dude. Bears just gave up, motherfuckers. Dude, Roquan and motherfucking Quinn, and then go grab him. We could have had that motherfucker for sure.
Sweat went for a second-round pick.
Dude, we could have Chase Young for a second-round pick. We could have fucking
one of them actually went for a third-round pick.
Yeah, we could have Williams, dude. He went for a second and a fifth.
Yeah,
I think they all went for second.
That's like the biggest problem too, where it's just Mark being technically a pussy and also a nuthead, to where why do you wait till the trade deadline? And then when it came to the Gruden situation, instead you hide in your shell and be like, well, Gruden, I'm just going to have you go, instead of just protecting Gruden because your team is winning. So it's just Mark being Mark. Like, Mark just needs some way, somehow, which is probably never going to happen, just know when to make the right decision at the right time or when to not make the wrong decision. Like, that's just basically the common problem.
I think Mark just needs to be more like his dad, in the sense that, like, if you know something's wrong, because I feel like sometimes he gets pressure from the league or from, like, guys like probably like Jerry Jones or other owners, because there's so much of their stake in, like, Las Vegas. Like, they helped build the stadium and whatnot. I think that's got a lot to do with it as well. So there's probably a lot that Mark has to do with on the business side of things, and I feel like sometimes it makes him hesitant to make the right decision. Whereas
the scary thing you have to think about, I think the most is that, like, as much as people would not want it to be true or that it can be a possibility, I'm going to say it right now, dude, that John Gruden's ass can most definitely be a possibility of coming back as the Raiders coach, dude. Like, where they're at in their court case, dude, how people keep bringing up. Even not even that, like, even what people brought up in recent deals is not, the NFL never pushed back on Gruden one fucking time for being over there in the same fucking deal. Not anybody in the NFL said nothing about it. So, like they said, like, they most definitely think that he can most definitely come back. And they even think, like, there are people that think it was a lot to do with Gruden and why that fucking, why Josh and them did get fired. Like I said, sometimes certain things just tend to line up. So I don't want to just sit here and be like, oh, it could be this or be that. I mean, like I've said, with the Gruden deal, his case, it looks like he's going to win this shit. So, I mean, he most definitely.
That's going to be terrifying if he does, because...
Dude, he can end up with hell of money, dude, and be back in the NFL.
Well, not just that, but the NFL is going to change forever. Like, if they
ever,
for one, like, get to the point to where we don't know what was in the emails, but that lets us know that there was something in the emails. Or two, they released the emails and half of the NFL falls apart. Like that's what's
sometimes
scary.
I think that sometimes I think when you have powerhouse organizations like you do here, it's kind of like Twitter, Instagram, places of those. Like, you can't be too powerful ever. Like, sometimes things do need to be reset to get back to being like true. To be honest.
Like what's the saying, Dustin? Like the bigger they are, the harder they fall. It's kind
Damn
of like
right.
empires too. When you look at history, the bigger every empire is, when they fall really hard.
I think when you look at a guy like Gruden say, hey, I don't give a fuck how much money you're willing to offer me or whatever it is you are, he's like, I want you motherfuckers to suffer. Like, shit like that just tells me, like, he's here to fucking bring this bitch down. And then you got to take it then you got to just step back and look at the whole picture. Like, you have to look at it from Gruden's standpoint. Gruden is very educated, and he is massively NFL fucking. Like, Gruden stands for the NFL. He stands for the Raiders. Like, he is the definition of, like, play football. Like, this guy is the NFL. So when you're looking at him tell people, like, hey, I want to bring the fucking roof down, things like that, he knows it could hinder, but he also knows that if they bring it down, he'll still have a chance to coach or maybe even own a fucking team, And just like I said, like, I think fucking Gruden 100% would be the best Raider owner that there could be, just because of his mentality, just how he is of a Raider. But like I said, man, if we're at a point that people are harnessing fucking bullshit and they thought that they can oust Gruden and us at a point that we were going to be good, that massive shit happened, then you're talking about, like, you're not just looking at ousting out John. You got to see the ratifications that came after that too. You had a guy in Henry Ruggs that ended up killing a girl, dude, fucking burn her to death in the car, dude. And I keep
kill people.
Exactly. And I've said under Gruden, that type of shit doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. And I keep trying to bring back up to people about the Rich Bisaccia deal. Everybody keeps advocating Rich Bisaccia. Let's call Rich Bisaccia. Let's bring him back from the Green Bay. He should be the head coach. Okay, look, here, let me just ask one simple question. Rich Bisaccia took over John Gruden's team in year 4 when everything was already fucking rolling. Now, let's go back to year fucking 1 when Gruden tore this bitch down, and then say that go in, start having the year Gruden was having, then he gets stripped out because of this shit, and then they give it to Rich. You think they have the same outcome? No. Hell fuck no, they don't. So that's all it's got to tell you right there is that Rich just was taking on somebody else's shit, just like Bill Callahan did in the early 2000s. That's why these guys didn't end up head coaches. They already seen this story one fucking time, and they were not going to go back down that road again. And I keep on saying history repeats itself, and people that are historians don't end up repeating themselves because they're very aware of these type of fucking things, dude. That's what they're looking for, is to not do this shit again. That's what they pay these motherfuckers millions on top of millions of fucking dollars, like, and that's all I'm saying is like, when you're looking at where we are as a franchise, I've said this hell of times, it doesn't matter who you fucking bring here, what coaches that you bring, what GMs that you bring. We've had 12 different coaches in 20 fucking years, and we've only had success twice. And the funny part about it is that both times, well, Gruden's had success both times he's been here, and the only other guy was fucking Del Rio. So, and however you want to determine that, I don't call it success, because Del Rio went 12-4. Yes, I'll give him the credit for that. But motherfucker literally let Hargrave go the very next year and put Todd fucking Downey in there and went 6-9. So no, I don't think that Del Rio is a great coach or all this. He's a defensive coordinator that has not been any fucking team in the NFL over the whole time that he's been coaching in the Redskins or anything that he's been back. Have they tried to give him the fucking head coaching job? So you have to look at what 31 other fucking teams are doing when people keep bringing up these guys' name. These motherfucking 31 other teams ain't even trying. So that's all I'm trying to say. I mean, look, the own organization that he's playing for right now, coaching for, went out and got what's his name from the Chiefs. Who do you think getting that job if they fired what's his name? Fucking dude.
Ron Rivera.
Rivera. Fuck, it's probably gonna be the dude from the Giant or from the Chiefs. Fucking, so he's probably gonna have that. I mean, look at the way Sam Howell's playing. Look at fucking Sam Howell putting up 3 touchdowns, 300
the
fucking
thing people
yards
need to
every
understand.
game.
The thing people need to understand when they like advocating for like a head coach or something is you got to ask them what playbook are they going to bring, or what level
Not
of
only that, but what
skills are they going
playbook
to
are you
bring?
gonna create? Can you create
Yeah,
a playbook?
it's what playbook have they ever created, or what schemes have they ever run, or that kind of stuff.
And that's my point with Pierce is that when he
Pierce
got
has done in high
surpassed as
school
a
and
head
college
coach.
at least. He has some, just not at NFL level.
Yeah, but this is the thing that, like I've said, anytime a player surpasses a person within that, right? Graham, this is the thing. Graham goes home. Graham writes his own playbook. Graham draws up his plays. Graham has a playbook, and Graham calls plays in the NFL. So when a guy surpasses a dude that already has that, and then you ask the guy that surpassed him, hey man, what playbook are you bringing? What do you have one if this doesn't work? Well, no. I went, well, okay, what the hell are you up there for? Like, that's where me as a person started questioning shit, because it's like, bro, more times than not, like, this would be different, Pierce, if you jumped up there and you were like, yeah, I got a playbook, I got this shit, but I'm gonna let Graham, call this out, and then if it don't work, we'll throw my shit out there. But we know damn clear as fucking day that's not how it's going down. So when you see those type of things, again, you just got to be aware of these things, and why I keep saying there's so much familiarity with the way that Rich Bisaccia and this guy, same thing with Rich, was promoted for morale, dude. Everybody was behind him. Everybody knew he had way more success than I think what's going to happen right here. Derek Carr was a actual proven quarterback, dude. Like, Derek Carr was calling that team. I've said it 1,000 times on all of our lives that Derek Carr was the one that called those plays, not fucking Rich, not fucking Greg Olsen. I said Derek lived right next door to John, dude. Like, so if we're just sitting here implying like, oh man, fucking this Aiden's gonna take off and he's Derek Carr, well, hold on there a minute. Like, Aiden ain't played but one fucking game in the NFL. I mean, even with the success Derek Carr had in his career, he started out 0-10, 0-13. Like, so I don't know if I want to hop that gun too fast on there, and that's why I just keep saying, like, I think what's going to happen here in the end is going to be like, if we get another coach, you're going to have a guy like fucking Mark saying like, hey, Aiden's fuck good quarterback, like this, that, like, that's the only thing, because there's no, Jimmy's ass is out of here. Like, Jimmy's ass up out of here. And I've even said, like, no matter what coach comes in, even if it's Pierce, no matter what coach, like, I think if Pierce is the coach, I think Mark can get away with Pierce being the coach and not eat as much money, because he'll be like, hey, you're going to have to use these guys. You're going to have to play with them. But here, look at the end of the end picture. There's a lot of guys on this staff right now that are going to be the fuck up off this bitch at the end of the year. All kinds of dudes, fucking red zone play callers, fuck their down play callers. Fuck, these dudes are going to get up off this team at the end of the year. They're not Pierce guys. They were Josh's fucking guys, dude. So they're not going to stay right here. They're going to leave and go other places, dude. So, like I said, I think you have a way bigger problem at the end of the year when it comes to, you're not just getting one or two dudes here. I mean, then you're going to have to sit here and, I mean, is Edgar Bennett going to stay here if Hardegree ain't fucking able to get the offense? Like I said, man, there's a lot of things. I think, like, you get a guy like Edgar Bennett here because he believed in Josh McDaniel's system. Like, there's a big fucking difference in why he stayed on the roster, why everybody else didn't. So, again, then you got to look at even the halfback coach. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of shit. So, long story short, man, I hope the best for everybody. I just always say, like, here at DSR, we're always going to look at everything that we can about the players, the coaches, the staff, because if we're not going to sit here and act like okay, we got to the end of the season and then, oh, it was just a fucking slap in the face. No, I've always said, I've played this sport my whole entire life. I don't need to wait till the end of the year to fucking know the outcome. I've watched this shit my whole life, dude. I watched this sport, so that's what made me want to play the fucking game. So most definitely ain't gonna sit here and act like I'm gonna wait till fucking week 18 to be like, oh man, I can't believe this shit didn't happen. Or man, I can't believe this didn't work. Like, no, look, I've said I want to hope the best for everybody. I hope that it works out for them. But in reality, we most definitely need to be paying the fuck attention to these type of things and be aware of these things. So when it happens, our fan base is smarter. They're more knowledgeable on the fucking sport and sit here and say like, hey, we're not such shock because we knew this was a possibility. We knew this is a road that it could have went down, instead of getting to the end. Oh, why did this happen? Oh, this guy. Like, that's all dudes do these days, is they all act like fucking shit just somehow that was a new rule that just got created right then and there. This shit been going on for 50 years, you know? So like I said, I just try to always speak about every topic and where these guys are at. I give Champ his. He's had good success with the Bears. They've had good turnaround player-wise, so on like that. I mean, the thing that I look at like right away is like how they went and picked up Jalen Smith. I've said Jalen Smith, the second that we had the chance to get Jalen Smith in the offseason, I was saying the whole time these motherfuckers should grab that motherfucker. I've said that he's a good player. And the only issue I've always had with is when you get a guy like Jalen that's with the Cowboys. I've said if you do redraft, they don't always work. Wouldn't never work because of the fact that when Jalen went to the Cowboys, there was somebody there that was able to get the best out of him. The minute Jalen left the Cowboys, he's just been tossed around and not been doing nothing pretty much. Even I think we picked him up off the practice squad right now. So the things that I look at is like Pierce. This is a guy where Pierce is like, hey, I play this position, I coach this position, and if I can't get it out of this guy, he probably is done. But the upside is boy, what if he does get it out of him and we get Jalen Smith that was over here with the fucking Cowboys playing with Diablo, fucking Masterson, and Spillane. Like, that's a massive add to your team right there for the money. Like, that'd be a great add. And look, it makes your team instantly better. And I get it that we got him on injury.
Are we gonna do a pregame show or before after this one or?
Yeah, we'll do a pregame on Sunday. Yeah, for sure.
That's all right. I'll save it for that then. It's all right.
Yeah, so I just think like when you're looking at that, he can become a major piece inside here, and then when you're looking at the aggressiveness and like, see, they didn't just go settle like Ziegler and them been getting these little fucking no-name dudes hoping. They were like, hey, this guy had success, we're getting him. So when I see that, it gives me hope that if we need a corner, they're going to go look for an actual corner, somebody that's got a name, somebody that's done something. So like that, I'm kind of excited to see. This is why I keep saying, well, I think this shit was plotted. I think this shit was planned. I just say, like, why wouldn't you give Champ and them the chance to trade for a player? Like, these guys can't do nothing but with the players that are on the team, and that's it, free agency and other practice squads, you know. So, and again, like I said, dude, I hope the best for it. I hope it does turn around and come out good. And that's all I can say. And I think going into this Giants game, I mean, there's so many up and downs in the Giants game that, like I said, should we win this game easily? Should it be a struggle? We're sitting here acting like if Aiden's just going to be this, you know, superstar coming in, and we can't act like the Chargers game didn't happen. You know, there's a lot of things that you got to take into consideration. Did Aiden learn from the first time around? Is he going to not hold on to the ball as long? Is he not going to step out of the pocket too much and then not get back inside? I mean, these are all things that are on Aiden, you know. So I've said the other thing is like you got Hardigree that's going to be the play caller for him. So let's just hope that maybe the familiarity with them, the comfort, you know, being comfortable with them on the sideline and things, that works out very well. I just hope to God it's not another Todd Downey. But like I said, you know, that all we can do is just hope for the best. And I mean, listen, if we're just going to be real about Antonio Pierce, we cannot judge the guy in any way, shape, or form until he plays this Sunday. Like, there's how do you judge a guy? He's never had any fucking thing. He's never done anything. So, like I said, you gotta wait till you get into Sunday. We gotta wait to see what he does, and then we can kind of get a judgment going. I've said, like, to be fair with people like this. I mean, to be just honest to God fair with him, it would be like, to be a fair assessment would be like game 3, game 4, because you got to take into like the history of the NFL, how people act against people. In the history of the NFL, more times than not, when you do fire a coach and do get an intern or somebody else, they actually win that game because they're more on the up, that they feel like this is better, right? So more times than not, just in general or the way that the team's hype is, they're going to win that game. Then more times than not, it fucking plenishes down and they don't end up winning those games. I keep saying, like, even if this offense is one of the best, the difference is no matter how good Aiden could be or not, Carr has been an NFL player for fucking 10 years now. He's had 28 fourth quarter comebacks. He's been in big game moments and won those games. So the thing about Aiden is I would just say, like, don't have false hopes that he's going to be like Carr and do that. Like, the odds are is Aiden's not going to do that. And the odds are Aiden's going to take rookie mistakes, and Aiden is going to cost us a game here or there because of those mistakes. But the thing that we have to look at is how well does Aiden adapt to those? Does he keep making those plays over and over, things of those deals? And if he does and the offense is struggling, you can bet your fucking ass, and I'll tell you right now that it's going to be a Harbaugh or somebody that's going to know how to break down the team and build up. And it's not going to matter how people go, because that's the reality of it. I keep saying it. Mark's a dipshit. I don't care how anybody wants to look at that guy. He's a dumbass. That guy don't know shit about football. He don't know shit about anything. I keep saying somebody's in this guy's ear, man. Like, they're fucking telling him what to fucking do. That firing, the way that it worked out, the way that it was. I mean, come on, you get one fucking guy over here at the game. Fire Josh with your sign. Like, nah, man, there's too much shit that doesn't make sense, dude. It's more of the fact of the inconvenience that he can't go to his own press box or things without some dude standing there heckling him. Is more probably to me seems like what the real scenario is. But I've said it, Mark is a dumbass, dude. Like, this guy, I've never wanted him to. He's nothing like his dad. He is nothing like him. He has nowhere, shape, form of Al. Like, Al's gone, dude. That's facts, dude. Like, John Gruden way more Al than fucking Mark will ever fucking be. And I've even said, like, I would, if fucking Brady can't own it because of, winner mentality, then I 100% would take Gruden over him, even to begin with, because it's like I've said, the thing about Gruden, when he walks through a building or walks into a room, if he was the owner, one, he's going to be into the draft, so he would know who the fuck we were trading for in week fucking 8 going into the Detroit game. Like, he would be over there like, hey, we need to trade for this dude, just like Al. So that's why I keep saying, if Mark just pops up and is like, oh, they were just trying to trade this guy on that day, motherfucker, you had all week, dude. Like, everybody else was making trades the whole time, dude. So, like, they weren't having these type of issues, dude. Like, oh, fucking, they tried to trade Renfro. Bitch, they were talking about trading Renfro the whole week, motherfucker. It was in, like, every single newspaper that they literally gave his agent and the Raiders were looking to fucking have a trade partner. And then all of a sudden, because the phone call was going through, oh, now I want to they're trying to get rid of people. No, man, there's too much shit that doesn't add up. Don't fucking comply with what was going on. And any type of owner that would let shit go on like that for a week, 2 weeks, and then act like the day of fucking like he just got shot, he's stupid as hell. He's dumb as hell, because Jerry Jones of the fucking Cowboys, he's old as fuck, dude. He looks like he's carrying a bag of bones around, and he's still smarter than fucking Mark would ever be in his life, dude. Like, he'd still be right down there. He would have known like I said, the minute that Renfro shit, like I said, there's too much bullshit here. And the whole thing is like, if you have them, they would have traded away players too. So I don't know, man. I'm just looking at the bigger picture, dude. I'm not blind to the NFL. I've watched too much of this coyote shit go on my whole entire life, dude. I've watched too much of this shit go on. And like I said, we literally just watched this happen a year ago, 2 years ago with Rich Versace. So it's not like it's a fucking, oh, this is a story that's never been played before. It literally just played 2 years ago. So,
Yeah,
again,
I just
man,
feel like
we can say.
Like I like it. Don't get me wrong. I like AP, but I just feel like he's there as a morale booster and to like kind of bring some cohesion to the team, and then they're going to go into next offseason and figure it out from there.
Hey, go.
I mean, unless Pierce can like win a playoff game. I mean, if that happens, that changes the whole dynamic.
He's gonna have to win a Super Bowl, dude. Like that's gonna be fact. I'm just gonna be honest.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe winning the playoff game might be enough, but at
You're
least
gonna have to go in there and beat like fucking good team like the Dolphins, or you're gonna have to beat.
I don't mean just win a playoff game. Like it had to be like a convincing win, not like scraping by the teeth or something. It had to be like a convincing win, and the team would have to look like they're competitive with him at the helm. Like you know what I mean?
I mean, not just that, but like regular season too. Like
because
not like
the thing I think is
lucky
Sham
during that season
Kelly is
thanks
a GM,
to
like
COVID and injuries, but like also like the teams you're going against, like Chiefs twice, Chargers, Broncos, all division games, and then you got the Dolphins, the Vikings. Even without Kirk Cousins, they just traded for Dobbs. The Colts still got tough defense, even with Richardson out. Probably.
And Minshew ain't no fucking slouch. Minshew probably playing better than fucking Richardson was, anyways.
Yeah, so it's not like the ending stretch is any comparable to when Rich Bisaccia was here. So
exactly, and that's my point. So like, if we can come out, make the playoffs, like split with the Chiefs, that kind of deal, and be competitive in the other Chiefs game, then maybe there'd be a chance for AP to get a shot. But it had to take some tremendous amount of like that kind of stuff going right his way in order.
And I'm just gonna say, even if he does that, I'm gonna bet his odds are fucking like 1%. Like I'm just gonna be honest, because what would give him? So like this is the thing that I like. If I'm just being real, what gives him more right than Rich Bisaccia in that deal? Rich Bisaccia was here for multiple years with the team. It wasn't like he just popped up out of nowhere. And then he did go on a run. He went a 5 out of 6 fucking wins. Like that is most definitely a run. And was with a better team.
Hold up. When did, even in like high school or college level, has Rich Bisaccia ever been a head coach? Ever?
Fuck no, either has Pierce.
Exactly. That's the difference with Pierce. Pierce had it's a different level, but he's actually been a head coach.
Who has Pierce been a head coach of?
He was a head coach in high school and college.
Oh fuck, get out of here, man. They can't take high school and compare it to the NFL. Like I'm sorry, man. I can go be a high school coach right now.
That's not what I'm saying. I said college as well, Arizona State. But
he wasn't a head coach. He was not a head coach in college, man.
Yeah, 21 to 22.
No, he was not, man. He was a fucking backup.
He was an assistant head coach.
Yeah, that's not the head coach, man. Fucking Rich Bisaccia run around with the fucking title. All kind of these dudes run around with that title. They ain't fucking the guys out here, oh, I'm running the team. That's why it says assistant, like hold my clipboard, motherfucker. That's exactly what that title might as well say. Like he's not running that team, dude. So no, you can't go and give him that credit like he's over here doing that.
In 2021, he was assistant head coach, defensive coordinator, and recruiting coordinator for Arizona State.
Again, assistant head coach is not the head coach of the fucking team.
But the point I'm making is we're comparing him to Bisaccia, right?
Rich Bisaccia's been the assistant head coach in the NFL. In the NFL. He was actually the fucking assistant head coach when he was here. Like, that's why I say, like, I don't know how the hell we're going to go justify this guy's fucking title in college when fucking Rich has had it in the NFL for a long period of time. And just like I'm saying, like, is Pierce gonna have plays or could he be? Like, I'm not gonna argue about where he's gonna go in his life. You know, like he's still a young dude. I don't even think he's 40 fucking years old or so. But like I said, him building a playbook or him running those coaches, he's here just like Rich, man. Like he really don't bring nothing outside of being able to talk to the fucking defensive linebackers, no more than Rich was able to talk to the special teams. And under Rich Bisaccia, his special team players were the best in the fucking league. So, and again, I asked the other day, I don't know if Pierce's linebackers are the best in all of the NFL. Maybe top 5, maybe top 10. Again, it's just too much similarities within the type of players or who the coaches are, man. Like, and this is why I keep saying, don't be shocked if he's not the coach at the end of the year. The same shit happened with Bisaccia is what happened with him. He surpassed a dude that has the title to be there. Patrick Graham has the title to be there, and so did fucking Gus Bradley. Gus Bradley and Patrick Graham, both in the defense, both had the way higher credentials than both of them. Both of fucking Pierce and fucking Bisaccia, and they did not take the job. And when I see shit like that, it tells me straight up that their intention isn't to give these guys the fucking head coaching job. If their intention was to give the head coaching job, why wouldn't one of those two dudes that's been a head coach on another team, had actually success, and has lost or not get that job? Like, I don't know how you explain that to me. Again, this guy literally just came out of Arizona and came here. It doesn't matter how well the linebackers playing. We're not winning games, and the linebackers don't control the whole team. There's a defense. There's still fucking 8 other players there. You know, so, I mean, look, Devontae said it out of his own mouth. He said all he does is go over there and look at the defense and take care of the linebackers. He's not going to call my plays in the offense because he doesn't know nothing about it. I mean, I keep saying Devontae may not have meant it as a knock, but those are the realities of who he is. And those are the shit I was talking about on, Wednesday's show when they got this shit. Literally talked about it with fucking Noah for like 2 hours, literally saying, like, these are things you got to be worried about when you're looking at these type of positions. Why is there so many similarities of how this went down last time and it's the same as this time? There are dudes that are on the roster that are that have way more experience. I mean, goddamn, as much as I would hate to say Rob fucking Ryan, right? As much as I would hate to say it, because I've said he's just old. He's been out of the game for a long time. The difference is that if you got Rob Ryan, he can literally go home and fucking open up his fucking chest and fucking blow off his fucking book. That's probably fucking 2004, you know. Fucking blow that bitch off, and then he can come back because he has it. The thing is, this guy don't have it, man. So that's all I keep trying to say is most guys that are in these positions most definitely qualify offensive play caller or defensive play caller. Like, literally how every coach gets to those jobs. And every now and again, which, like I said, is like 1%, is the special team motherfucking coach that gets lucky and gets a job there. But fuck, 99% of the success that's come from dudes that have literally been in the position to call the fucking plays and develop the books, dude. Like, straight facts. Look it up. You know, so those are only things I'm trying to point out in the history of why I feel why it's where it is. Now, again, we can be wrong. He can go out and win every game. But again, so did Rich Bisaccia. So I don't know what's going to be any different here. And when you're putting Harbaugh's name next to Pierce, I mean, Harbaugh he's the biggest name out there, dude. How do you tell me that Pierce stands against Harbaugh and what Harbaugh's done in every fucking school he's been to, everything he's done in the NFL? Like, this guy is a straight fucking winner, and he's a rock star even in college football. And it's very rare. It's very, very rare that you have a guy that coaches college and NFL that has same success. There are so many high people that come from college that are offensive play callers or defensive play callers that people think that they're going to be great fucking NFL coaches, and they fall flat on their fucking face and don't do shit.
I mean,
and
I think in
the last 20 have done that.
I think in the last, like, the actual stat is in the last 20 to 30 years, The only like
Salute,
college
Tubby.
coaches, then NFL head coaches that have been successful were Jim Harbaugh and Pete Carroll, and those guys were rivals when they were college head coaches. So
Yeah, and you're talking about dudes like Nick Saban and so on. I mean, you're talking about big time fucking names that have been sent back there and humbled. You know what I mean? So just like I said, you got to be very careful about how when you're doing things like this and who you're looking at and what you're doing. Like, I get it, dude. We all hope the best from them. That, you know, and this is the biggest issue I have with Raider fans and like myself. I've always said I don't try to build a team on people that come from my neighborhood, dude. Like, it's great that they have that mentality. I'm glad that he has that voice. I said, like, that's the one thing I like more about him than Josh is just having that voice. Because I think being a leader, you need to have a voice motherfuckers look up and listen to. So, like, for me, when I look at these things, like, those are things I like about him. But when I sit at home on my table and I got my pen and paper out, dude, and I'm just doing the math, I mean, I've brought up 15 different fucking scenarios that I don't see how you guys can't see logic football sitting right in front of your face. I mean, if you don't see the scenarios that getting a guy like Harbaugh improves his staff by a massive amount, I mean, just night and day in talent-wise, people-wise, experience-wise, that's the only argument that you have to have when you're trying to build a team in Vegas. Like, Vegas doesn't pack people in the fucking stands, dude, and nobody's showing up. And as much as they might like Antonio Pierce, Vegas, people from LA ain't gonna come drive all the way up here and pay fucking, you know, hundreds and thousands of dollars to go pack people in those seats, dude, to fucking have an 8-8 season, dude. Like, they're not gonna do that shit. They want to
it's
win.
kind
They
of
want to
taking
beat
into
win.
effect now, like how weirdly like an actual thing that's happening is the tickets got massively cheaper in Vegas.
Because they're trying to pump up fucking Antonio Pierce, which is the only thing to do. I mean, you can't get the crowd hyped or get the crowd behind the coach if there's nobody there. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna drop down tickets down to $200, so Raider fans can drive up there and go there, that's how you get behind your coach, dude. Because these motherfuckers like, hell yeah, I'll drive up to that bitch for $200 and get down there. Like, that's how you're gonna do that, and that's what you should do. The thing about when you have dudes like Josh and Gruden, they're like, you're gonna pay to see that coach. That's the difference, you know. So in one hand, you're forcing to get your stadium full, and Mark can take that loss. I mean, Mark can take that loss. If Mark takes ticket sale loss for, let's just say, 2 home games, right? And say that he goes from, you know, $1,000 to $200, he's not losing shit. If that doesn't work out, who gives a fuck? Raise the price back up, give it to away fucking team, go on with the same thing you've been doing for the last year and a half, you know, 2 fucking years, probably longer now. So, again, it's nothing that he can't operate, but this is, I've said this the whole time. Tell me if I'm wrong. I've been saying this the whole fucking time. If you bring a guy, and I'm not saying Caleb because I don't want Caleb, but I'm just saying, you bring dudes like Caleb, Drake, fucking Bo, you're going to bring players to the stadium instantly. And then now, not only are you bringing a name like that, you're bringing a coach like Harbaugh that can coach a player like that. Like, big fucking difference, man. Like, you're going to pack off of these dudes, and I keep saying, like, if you don't go look at Michigan football, dude, or where Stanford or Niners, he's always sold stadiums, dude. People come to look at them. Look at Baltimore with this fucking brother and the fucking Ravens. Like, this family has these type of people. It was no different than Rob Ryan and Rex Ryan.
You want to something funny? You want to something funny, Dustin? So John Harbaugh, his brother, right, is a defensive-minded coach. The offensive coordinator of the Ravens is Greg Roman, and Greg Roman learned how to play call an offense from Jim Harbaugh. And he was the offensive coordinator for the Niners. So John Harbaugh, right, Jim's brother, he's more defensive-minded. The offensive coordinator is Greg Roman. And Greg Roman learned play calling and designing from Jim Harbaugh. And he was the offensive coordinator for the Niners when Jim was with the Niners. And not only that, he was with Jim in college.
And who was that?
Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator for the Ravens.
Yeah. No, but that's why I said I couldn't hear it cut out twice, man. So I didn't hear the name. No, but that's why I'm saying, like, these guys' history with people and players and personnel, it just gravitates. It's just like when Gruden got here, he was able to go out and get players instantly. It's going to be like Harbaugh gets here. Look, people might look at Harbaugh and say, like, oh, he's just offense. Hey, this motherfucker offense and defense. Jim Harbaugh knows offense and defensive fucking play calling, dude. Like, he ain't no fucking slouch when it comes to that shit. His whole family is in the offense and defense. Like,
I
that's why I
mean, yeah,
say their
if anyone
history
that
of it.
really doesn't know the Harbaugh is like Jack Harbaugh. If you want to compare him to anyone, like he's like Al Davis, like literally one of the greatest football minds of all
Hey,
time.
salute, Ozzy. Appreciate you, bro. But what were we saying about what?
Like I was saying, like if no one really knows the Harbaugh family, like the Harbaugh brothers, they learned it from their dad, Jack Harbaugh. And if you want to compare Jack Harbaugh to anyone, like think of like Al Davis, because like they're literally like one of the greatest football minds of all time.
And dude, like I said, you got fucking Jim, dude. That's a fucking an ex player himself. Jim, dude, listen.
Jim, I think
I don't wanna knock on Pierce, dude, because Pierce is a good dude. Like I listen, anybody that's watched our show, I've advocated why I didn't want him in this spot, dude. But then the more and more I keep thinking, listen. I want to just make this clear. I've said this 100 times. I do not advocate individual biasness for people. So when Josh is here, I'm going to evaluate him the best that I can and as fair as I can. Now, Josh is gone. I don't fucking dick ride any fucking man. I've made that clear as fuck on this show. I don't suck dick, dude. He's gone. His time in here is over, dude. His tenure's over. And I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to look into it and be like, oh, fucking Josh. No, he had his time. He made his bed. He lied in it. He didn't get it done. That's on him. I'm not married to him. I don't have any fucking blood to him. I want what's best for the fucking Raiders. Now, when I look at Antonio, do I think that he brings more of the Raider vibe? Is he going to bring more of this mystique for the Raiders right here, right now, for the rest of the season? Yeah, fuck yeah. I'm not going to argue it. Does he have that deal that we've been lacking? Fuck yeah. I'm not arguing that. The thing when I look at, like I've always said, you can't put dudes that are not qualified in those positions and then act like, oh, why we're losing. You're going to lose because of those reasons. I've kept saying it, dude. You've already lost your offensive coordinator, which was Josh McDaniels. He's one of the best in the league, regardless of how anybody wants to look at it. Say it. Let's say Josh puts Aiden in there and plays him out. He's going to have good success with them, too. That's facts, dude. Now, why he didn't do it, I've said it. I think the reason why was because he knew he had 6 years. He had 4 years to get the production done. Him and Ziegler probably had a bigger goal inside the draft than it was to win today. It was just like Gruden. I mean, again, in Gruden's case, they fired fucking Paul Gunther and got fucking Gus Bradley. So people were yelling the same shit. Fire Gruden, can't score in the red zone, this, that, the other. I mean, fuck, dude, we can go back, pull a tape on them just as easy. It's not like YouTube just vanishes these fucking tapes. That shit's up just as long as people's fucking channels are up. So all I'm trying to say is it's not something that didn't happen before that wasn't happening right now. Now, when we look at the way that I've said it, why was him being let go and the way that fucking Gruden leaving with Bisaccia and him near itself picture perfect? I mean, come on, man. The things are so much perfect on the same team. I even went farther, showed you that there are coaches on the team that are qualified to be in those spots, that have them. Went even another step farther and said, like, hey, dude, fucking where the hell is his playbook, dude? Like, there's a difference when you're sitting here saying Graham may falter up because he can't adapt or this and that. Head coaches are the guys that lead these motherfuckers, like, straight up. Just like I said, if Harbaugh comes here, he's the offensive fucking coordinator. He's going to have a little grunt underneath him, just like every guy like like McDaniels did with Lombardi, just like Gruden did with fucking Olsen. That's what these dudes do because they are fucking great at what the fuck they do. Even Bill Belichick he's run it his whole time, even having all kind of defensive coordinators that ran under him, left and went other places, never did shit. Like, this is what good people do. So when you're sitting here looking at this, I've said there's too many mirror likes that are similar to what's happened before and what's happening right here. So I've said it. Then I keep saying, like, at the end of the year, you're looking at, look, you're going to lose staff. You're losing staff because they're Josh's guys. They're just going to play out the rest of the year. They got family here. They got contracts. They're going to play out the end. It's like, yeah, tough shit for Josh, but at the end of the year, they're going to be like tough shit for the Raiders too because they're the fuck out of here. That's fact. Then the reality is, just like I said, when a guy like Pierce is sitting at the table and he got to sit here and look with Champ, because that's what he's going to have to do, and he's going to say, Champ, do you know an offensive coordinator that's really good in the NFL that we can get over here? Or Champ, do you know a defensive coordinator because let's say that that Graham isn't working and they just want to reset everything. Then it's like, okay, Champ, do you have a fucking quarterback coach? Champ, do you have this? You know, like now you're asking Champ to build the whole fucking team. So this is all I keep trying to say is Champ's fucking deal isn't going to go too far because he's not really a high sought after guy to begin with. But I keep saying this exact point. You bring in Harbaugh, you're going to get Dobson Dorsey, and you're going to end up with dude like Vic or somebody of those factors. Every single one of those guys, not just Harbaugh, not just Dobbs or Dorsey or Vic, every one of them have high resources in the NFL to not just get good, but great, if not the best in the NFL. So that's what I keep trying to point out, why I feel like, listen, if I just know businessmen and I know that Mark did not fucking fire them to give fucking Pierce the job, dude, like there's no way that you're sitting down at the table and you're like, yeah, I need $100 fucking million to hire Antonio Pierce that was already on the fucking team to begin with. Like, that's crazy as fuck, dude. And I even said, I brought this up a while back. I brought it up when we actually hired Josh and fucking Ziegler about why did you have another GM? Why did you get Champ Kelly? That could have been the GM himself. He could have been the GM all alone by himself. He didn't even need this motherfucker. But I knew that shit was a safety blanket, and I spoke on that shit. If we go back and pull up the live, I spoke on that shit, that you do that shit to protect yourself because at some point along the line, if you are going to drop ship, you'll have the dude behind it. But the thing is that he's made every deal that Ziegler's made. He's been with them. Guess who even drafted these guys? Kelly. So it's not like, all the responsibility was just put on Ziegler, like Ziegler's the only dude drafting. That's bullshit. You can pull up scouting reports, you can pull up all kind of fucking articles that put Champ Kelly and Ziegler in all kinds of places, even like the Penn game that was just here recently. Like, they travel all over scouting fucking teams, both of them do. So you can't just put, oh, it was Ziegler picked these guys. He picked them too. So that's all I'm trying to say is at the end of the day, when they're going to go out there, I like I said, I can't see Mark saying like, yeah, I'm going to eat fucking John Gruden's contract for whatever made 40, 60, fucking maybe 70 million. I have no, probably 60, 50 million. Then you're sitting there saying, now I got to eat fucking Josh's and fucking Ziegler's at another fucking, 90. And then you're like, I'm going to hire Antonio. Nah, I can't see that shit. I think it's going to be somebody, obviously. You eat that kind of money because you have star power coming, dude. Like, that's for sure. And then I've said, like, 2 coincidences to happen. Harbaugh with the deal with the Signals, and then fucking Gruden with the deal that he's probably going to win this shit, and they're going to relinquish him back. Like, there's just too many coincidences that are lining up on either side of the board, regardless of how any guys look at it.
I mean, so one final thing I'm gonna say, and then I gotta go.
Yeah, I'm gonna get off too because my woman keeps calling me right here, and that's why I drove over here because I'm off too here soon.
So, like one final thing I'm gonna say and it's kind of like the same thing I say like every week. Like, we're not in Oakland anymore. We're in Vegas, and Mark doesn't own the stadium, and he is not like Vegas is a whole different type of world if anyone's ever been there and knows, because if the Raiders are representing a team or a city where the slogan is "House always wins," but we're always losing while representing Vegas, it's not going to look good for Mark, and Mark even knows it. And even people that like own the stakes with the Raiders that Mark talks to, they know it. So if it goes really bad and Mark and those guys can't get the team winning with the right guys, Vegas, if they want to keep the Raiders but get rid of those guys, I strongly personally believe that it could happen. That Mark, like, literally, we can see a mafia shit happen, like Al Davis did, how he originally got the Raiders, and just steal the franchise away from those guys. That can literally happen.
And let's just be real. Mark and Carol are getting old, dude. I mean, motherfucking 60, 70, and 90. I mean, come on, man. Like, their days are going to be coming short-lived anyway. So it doesn't really matter if it's now or then. You just got to pay attention to, one, I think you let him get his money, let him get rich, and then he should just sell out the team and then go. But the thing is, there should be a thing in place that says, like, if somebody else buys the team, but man, that's why I keep saying Gruden should just win this shit, get hella money, and just buy the fucking Raiders,
That'd
dude.
be so
Like,
funny if that happened.
man, I'm not gonna lie, it'd be the sweetest victory ever in life. But
Bro, in all honesty, we better go to every game if that happens. Every home game.
oh, I'll be there for sure. If Gruden owns that team, I'll most definitely be back there in a heartbeat. I just think, like, right now there's too many probables to be spending $25,000 to go watch games right now. Like, it's a lot of fucking money. It's not worth it. And the thing, like I say, is like where we're at. I'm not blind. I know the sport very well, dude. Like, I'm not blind to it. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, that it was Josh and them that lost that Lions game. There, no fucking way it was. Jimmy's just as straight fucking trash as hell. So that's the whole thing is like, I get it. They're going to give Josh, he's the head coach. I get the whole deal. But to sit here and act like these guys that have way less IQ than him, like, I don't, fuck, that'd be crazy as fuck, dude. And if it does work, dude, and I've said Aiden can win. Let's go back and get my tape. What did I say about Aiden? I said the whole time, did I not? Said the minute, go into the fucking Discord, go look at my draft picks that I picked before the deal. Who was I advocating? I was advocating for the quarterback that the Chargers took, fucking Duggan. I said, let's get this dude. This guy would be great in this system. And then right at the last minute, I was like, nah, man, they fucking just brought that dude fucking O'Connell back in. And they interviewed him right at the end. Then I started watching all kind of tape on this dude, seeing how many. I even posted on my page how he had the big games against them big ass schools, dude, and that this dude was no fucking slouch. I said this guy played big ass schools and put up big ass numbers, dude. Like, literally 500 fucking yards, 5 touchdowns, dude. Like 600 fucking yards, 5 touchdowns. Like, this dude was down like 30-something points in a game and came back and beat their ass. Like, this dude ain't no fucking slouch player. And the adversity that he's come through and everything that he's done in his life, that it doesn't show that Aiden is any slouch. I said I put $1,000 after we drafted him. I said I put $1,000 that we'd go 10-6, 11 and fucking 11-6, 10-7. I said that we would go there, and I even said it. I put the money on there advocating that it would be Aiden O'Connell. People were giving me shit the whole entire time. Oh, you would go Aiden. Oh, you'd go Aiden over Jimmy. I said, yeah, Jimmy ain't even been here. He's already played with the ones through the whole camp, just like Devontae fucking validated it just in the presser the other day. Hey, he was the one that was in the fucking OTAs taking the ones, dude. Like, he literally said it. And then I said that shit the whole time here. Then I even said when we were in preseason, I said, hey, Jimmy's fucking balls look like trash, dude. I said, this dude played 4 fucking passing throws, dude. 2 of them were behind massively. The other were fucking down by dude's fucking toes. And I even said, like, hey, that Aiden should be able to fight this dude in the third game, and it should be a heads up game. One guy gets first quarter or first half, the other guy gets second half. Whoever has a better game starts. I said that the whole time. And people even told me, like, oh, you don't think that Aiden should have started in week one? And I said, nah, man, they should already fucking figured that out in the preseason. So now it's Jimmy's fucking turn. Like I said this the whole time that this offense wasn't going to be won by Jimmy. I said it would be won by Aiden because Aiden has deep ball. I said, well, don't think it's going to be coincidence here in the Giants game that's got a great front. Like even getting rid of Leonard or getting rid of Williams, they still have a really good front line right there, dude. So it's not like it's going to be slouch. And then watch if Aiden gets fucking rolling with his pass, watch Jacobs be able to run on them Giants because of the fact that they're going to have to start playing off the fucking line. Then it's going to allow our team go 5-on-4, dude. Like it's going to be 5-on-4, 5-on-5. Like you can't just have dudes stacking down on 8 and then act like you're going to win those matches every single time, no matter if Colton is a Pro Bowler or whoever else is on that line. You're just not going to win those. You're not going to win those games. So, like I've said, I think at the end of the day, you got to pay attention to the reality of what's going on and what's happening with the team at the time. Like at the time is that we're going to go in and play these people. I've said it in the Chargers game. I even spoke about it in the pregame, dude, that if we were to pick Jacobs was going to have a good game, is going to be because that Aiden's going to pull off the secondary, like straight up. And I'm going to say that in this game too. It's 100%, and it's 100% going to happen because even with Khalil Mack was getting all that pressure. Mack was the one doing that by himself, nobody else. Even with Mack putting that pressure, the fucking Chargers still respected Aiden not to be stacking the box. He still fucking had him sitting behind. Like, and that's got to tell you shit right there that even with Mack, if Mack didn't get the pressure like he did, they wouldn't have been bringing Aiden in the box like they were in the past, dude, because they know that Aiden's going to go fucking past them. Past 300 plus subs now. I know, man. Dude, our shit's growing fast as fuck, bro. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. Like, we're already over 4,300 in Instagram. Like, we've gained 1,000 people in a week, dude. Literally, this Friday, 1,000 plus, 1,200 people. Our Instagram or our YouTube, we've gained fucking 50 dudes just this week, dude. Fucking 50, 40 this week. So, I mean, fuck, that's crazy as hell. So, I mean, hey, I appreciate everybody. I appreciate all the subs. Appreciate all the follows. Appreciate everybody, man. Like, everybody's been grinding. Everybody's been doing it. Really appreciate everybody. But it's just like I've said, like, in this game, we've got to look at so many different things, so many different variables, dude. Like, is Aiden going to be able to hook up with Devontae like we're hoping? Like what Aiden has shown in college, yeah, he can. It's just going to be time. It's just going to take a minute for him to get there, but he can most definitely do it. So all I say is like, we can't act like he's going to come out here and just win everything. What would be more like ideal and be kind of more ready for is like, does Aiden play good this year? And then whoever the coach is he going to be the quarterback for that coach? Like, I would just say more aim for that because I don't want people to sit here and think like, oh, Pierce is going to come and just be like, it's going to have to be something pretty fucking crazy, man. Like, I'm dead ass serious. So I said it. If you looked at the Rich Bisaccia deal, they already knew that they were going to get they didn't know that they were going to get Josh, but they thought they were going to get Harbaugh. Then when they got the Josh to Mark, he must have just loved the Patriots so much that he was just like, fuck it, I'll take this over that. But I've said it, like, if you don't get Jim this time around, man, might never have that chance ever again. So I don't think you can fuck the pooch twice. And I just think like the way shit's matching up, like, let's be real. The first time we were lucky enough to even have a chance at him for that time with Josh and them. What the fuck is the odds that we literally were just having shit with our coach, dude, and we fire him and then he's available? He will be available again right here at the end of the year. Like, man, like I said, I think there's a lot of fucking things that sometimes just, like people say, where there's smoke, there's fire, So that's just how I would say it. So long story short, man, I mean, like I said, I wish this guy the best. I hope he can go into this Giants game, beat that ass. We're going to do a pregame show, so we'll talk a lot more on there, dude. Like I said, the thing that I do like about them already is that they're already making moves, dude. Like, I really like the Jalen Smith pickup. That, you know, and like I said, if Pierce can get to Smith to be playing better, man, that's a great ad for us, dude. Like, that guy had a really high ceiling, dude, and he just kind of fell off. But if we can get that shit back over here on our team and be productive, that's good. And I even said, like, Josh and them want to pick him up. I advocated for that dude to be signed in free agency. And we didn't even look at the guy. We didn't even fucking try to sign him. And I think we did look at him once. So I don't want to say that we didn't. For some reason, when I said that, my mind thought we did look at him before. So I might be wrong on that. So I don't want to say that we didn't. I think we did. I really feel like we did. But long story short, they didn't sign him. And then when you're looking at things like that, it's just like these guys didn't even bat a fucking eye. They were just like, yep, get him right over there, fucking bam. And I'm just like, damn, all right, thanks, dude. Like, that was a good pickup. So long story short, man, I think we got a pretty good team here in place right now. I just want to see, like, I hope Bo Hardigree fucking turns out to just be some badass motherfucker. Like, I'm gonna just be honest with you. Like, I really do hope, because everybody's got to have their day. Then they're up and coming. Like, everybody's gonna have it sooner or later. So, like, hey, if he gets it now, then great, perfect timing, man. So I'm not gonna go against them, dude. And if Patrick Graham, dude, because Pierce is like play aggressive and you're doing it, like, listen, if all these things fall in place, I'm 100% for it. But man, it's gonna be so hard to convince me to say, like, I'm gonna take Pierce for Harbaugh. I've been massive Harbaugh fan forever. Like, I wanted Harbaugh before we were getting Gruden. Like, I love Gruden. He's my favorite coach of all time, but I really love Harbaugh. I just think the success he's had is just he's had different type of success with less deals. He can get it out of players, people. I mean, he has that I want to fucking beat your ass mentality. It's all he's ever had. So, long story short, dude, like I said, I don't want to keep rambling on or harping on a guy that's got a good job. So I've said I'm not here to do that. I support him 100%. So that's why I don't want to keep going about it. Plus, my woman's been saying to go. So, long story short, I wish him the best. I wish our crew the best, dude. I hope that they can get the best out of Aiden going into this game and going forward. The only thing I hope that they don't do is like, if Aiden does get beat up a little bit here in this Giants game, I don't want him to pull Aiden and put Jimmy and pull Aiden and put Jimmy. Like, I don't want to see that shit. Like, I want to see you either let him take his ass beating or fucking you don't put him in there. Like, I just want to see what they're doing. I just want to know that Aiden's going to get a fair chance to win or lose that job, just like he's going to get a fair chance to win or lose that job. So outside of that, hey, I hope everybody has a great night. I appreciate all of you guys showing up here on a Friday night, man. I know other guys, there's way bigger YouTubers out there having bigger shows. Sitting and listening to us ramble on, but I really do appreciate you guys stopping by. Appreciate you guys showing up. Outside of that, we will be live on Sunday for the pregame show. Outside of that, hey, we hope to see you all there. Appreciate you all. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Appreciate all the mods, everybody on the panel. Like I said, man, I appreciate all you guys stopping by and being part of what we're doing. Outside of that, stay safe, man.